If you find yourself searching for a specific design style but have no idea what to type into Pinterest or Google, this video is for you. I'm gonna give you 20 searchable style names that you've probably seen, you just didn't know what to call it. And I've done this 2 other times and you all seem to really get value from it, so let's keep this thing going. Don't forget to like and save this video for your reference later, or you can copy down the names so that you can search them afterwards. Let's start with a fun one called Rubber Hose Design. Rubber Hose is an illustration style inspired by 1920s and 30s animation, where characters have bendy, noodle-like arms and legs, simple faces, and pretty exaggerated motion. If you've ever played the game Cuphead, then you know exactly what I'm talking about, and you also know how painfully difficult it is to beat that game. This style feels playful, vintagey, maybe a little surreal, and you'll see a lot of these characteristics in retro mascots, which makes this style perfect for playful branding projects, for bars or coffee shops, sticker packs, or even cartoon-inspired merch. So if you're designing something that needs a little more charm and personality, this style is great. Next up is Romantasy. Romantasy blends romantic, ornate visuals with fantasy storytelling. So think about flowing typography, medieval motifs, florals, moons, swords, and dramatic lighting. You'll see it used in book covers, fantasy merch, fantasy branding, and illustrated posters. It's pretty similar to light and dark academia, another great search term and one we did a video on a while back, so if you're interested, definitely check that video out. But if you're designing for literature, apparel, or anything narrative driven, this is really a great option that instantly signals deep emotion. All right, let's talk about Chinoiserie. And yes, I know this is more of a pattern stylistically, but it still influences a lot of design. Chinoiserie is a decorative style inspired by historical Chinese art motifs, often featuring intricate florals, birds, pagodas, and porcelain-like patterns. And they are typically in blue and white or rich jewel tones. I say typically because that's maybe what you're used to seeing, that blue and white, but it doesn't exclusively have to be that color palette. Now, because it's perfect as pattern inspiration, it's incredibly strong for wallpapers, textile design, packaging, stationery, and even luxury branding. This is one of those styles where simply knowing the name can help you find a ton of high quality references for your next project. Next is Risograph or Risoprint style, and this style mimics risograph printing, which uses layered ink colors, grain, misalignment, and bold flat shapes. We actually did a tutorial on this style in Kittl not too long ago here on the channel, and we even visited a legit real-life risograph print shop in Berlin where we made some really cool custom posters. It was so fun to see and learn how the different inks interact. And you'll see this style often in posters, zines, album art, editorial illustrations, posters, event flyers, but honestly, you can incorporate this style into any project. Now, Diselpunk was kind of a new one for me. Diselpunk pulls from early 20th century industrial aesthetics, so you'll probably think of Art Deco mixed with machinery, gears, gritty futuristic stuff, and it's a bit darker and more industrial than steampunk, so the style works well for game art, posters, book covers, concept branding, and narrative illustrations. If you want your design to feel heavy, mechanical, and dramatic, then go with Diselpunk. Next is Lowbrow Art, another new term for me, but it's sometimes called pop surrealism, which I was more familiar with. Lowbrow is rooted in underground comics, skate culture, alternative art scenes, and it often features exaggerated characters, bold colors, and again, that surreal storytelling. This style shows up a lot in apparel, stickers, album art, tattoo flashes, and more recently, street-influenced branding. It tends to lean into that anti-design aesthetic, which I think also has been trending as of late. So you might find some similar stuff searching that term as well. Number 7 is Rocketpunk, which is similarly known as atomic design. This style imagines the future the way people in the 1950s thought it would look. So you're thinking sleek rockets, ray guns, lots of atomic symbols, bold typography, and a lot of optimism about technology. We did a tutorial for this style on the channel as well, which was a ton of fun to talk about and go through, so I'd love for you to give that a watch if you fancy this style. And even today, this style is great for posters, merch, branding, and illustrations where you need a playful retro sci-fi vibe. Next up is Mobius Style illustration. But what we're really talking about is that famous Mobius strip, which is a fascinating mathematical surface with only one edge and one side. So it's created by giving a flexible material like a half twist before joining it. It's hard to explain, but it's this symbol you've seen at some point, giving you the illusion that it's an infinitely connected symbol. Well, anyway, it's made its way into modern design, which I think is pretty cool, and I could see this being used for poster design, some conference branding, or really anything techy. And I'm sure with some iteration, it could make some cool logo designs as well. Now let's talk about Afrofuturism, which is a style requested by many viewers on the recent videos. Afrofuturism blends African art and culture with futuristic sci-fi and even some cosmic themes. So you might see some bold patterns, symbolic imagery, celestial elements, and some powerful portraiture combined together in a variety of use cases from posters to book covers. And I've also seen this style frequently used in album covers, fashion branding, editorial design, and cultural storytelling projects because it's visually rich and deeply narrative. Next is Cottagecore, which you have definitely seen at some point, even if you didn't know the name. Cottagecore romanticizes slow living, nature, pasture life, using soft colors, florals, hand-drawn elements, and cozy textures. It works beautifully for lifestyle brands, stationery, journals, packaging, home goods, and illustration-heavy content that needs a little bit of a vintage edge to it. So if your project needs to feel warm, gentle, or evoke nostalgia, this style is perfect. Okay, we're halfway through our styles, and if you're getting value from this video, if you could do me a quick favor and hit the like button and the subscribe button, it helps us out a ton. And be thinking about a design style, you can comment down below if you haven't seen it come up yet so that I can go look it up afterwards. But now let's move into something more abstract with biomorphic design. Biomorphic design, as the name suggests, uses organic, flowy shapes inspired by nature, anatomy, and cells rather than a strict geometry. It's common in modern branding, posters, experimental layouts, and digital art, and this style feels fluid, natural, contemporary, and it works really well when paired with minimal typography. Now, I hinted at this one earlier, but our next style is called Antidesign. Antidesign breaks traditional rules on purpose, so it clashes colors, awkward layouts, strange type choices, and it creates a visual tension. It's often used in experimental posters, fashion branding, editorial design, and some art-forward projects. If you want something that feels rebellious or attention-grabbing, this style will definitely make people stop scrolling. Next is surveillance design, and this style pulls visual language from CCTV footage, UI overlays, thorough imaging, timestamps, and biometric graphics. It's often used in conceptual posters, album art, tech conference branding, and design projects that need to feel a little more intense or on edge. It works especially well when paired with messaging that's about data or technology or, obviously, surveillance. Graham actually did a video on how to create your own surveillance style graphics and visuals using some new features we have in Kittl, so if you are looking for guidance on this style, then that video is a great place to start. Number 14 is Monoline Illustration, something I think will always stay in style. Monoline illustrations are drawn with a single consistent line weight, creating clean and often pretty elegant visuals. You'll see this style used in everything from logos, icons, packaging, signage, and branding. It's pretty much timeless, so it works great when you need something scalable and something minimal. In a similar fashion, pictograms are simplified icons that resemble real-world objects with the aim of communicating an idea instantly. They are everywhere in wayfinding systems, label packaging, infographics, and branding. So if you are working on a project where clarity and easy understanding is very important, more important than decoration, then this is your go-to style. Next up is isometric design. Isometric design creates a 3D-like effect using fixed angles without perspective distortion. It's heavily used in tech illustrations, SaaS websites, explainer graphics, maps, even diagrams, but it's a great style to work for conference branding, posters, or even product graphics and social posts where you just need a little bit more realism or movement in your design. Now it's time for one of my favorites, which is blueprint design. Blueprint design mimics architectural drawings and schematics, often using line work, labels, measurements, and a technical layout. You'll see this a ton for poster designs. Product breakdowns, apparel graphics, and explainer visuals can also use this style. And we did a video on this explaining how you can pretty much turn any niche into a blueprint design. So if you are interested, I will link that video down in the description as well. And speaking of styles that we've done videos about, Trinket Design showcases collections of small objects like charms, toys, pins, nostalgic items, and they're arranged like a catalog or a sticker sheet. So it's playful, cute, very collectible, and it works for stickers, merch, posters, and social graphics. Now it's time for something more elegant with Regencycore. Regencycore is inspired by early 19th century aesthetics. So you're gonna think ornate frames, classic typography, soft florals, and refined layouts. You'll see it a lot in book covers, wedding stationery, luxury branding, and historical inspired visuals. This style can help a project feel more romantic, polished, and timeless. And our 20th and final style is called Kidcore. Kidcore draws from 90s toy culture with bright colors, cartoon mascots, playful typography, and chaotic layouts. It's intentionally loud, so this style works especially well for stickers, apparel, playful branding, and anything that needs to lean into that nostalgia and joy. Now, a bonus tip for searching these different design styles is to use a term like poster or branding or illustration after the name when you're using a tool like Pinterest to see what comes up. And when you find a reference you like, click on it so that it can show you similar stuff that will pop up, and then you can start curating your feed. Now, before you go, if you haven't signed up and tried Kittl yet, I highly encourage you to do so. It's free to get started, and we actually have a ton of templates, elements, fonts, and AI features to help you achieve these designs that I've talked about, and I will link that down in the description. It's an easy link to sign up and get started in a matter of seconds. So check that out and let me know what you think. And if there's a style I missed or one you've been chasing but can't quite get the name right, describe it down in the comments and I will help you find a name for it in the next video. Thank you so much for watching, and I'll see you in the next one.